Hi, Cha. Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Hi, sir.
Hi, good morning.
Just go on and mono tag on the thing. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Bryden. Hi, guys.
Hello. Okay, may I know who is Helen John, please?
Sure, it's Sujit.
Sujit, okay.
He did the same username. I think it was on let me see, last Friday.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you all see the slides?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
sure.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, so let's just do a roll call. Ashira, Adan, Adrian, Akshara, Anna, Mark, Anna, Bryden, Sujit, Jacob, Jada, Kendrick, Kurt, Nashley, Siddharth, Silver, Tirendran, Caitlin. Okay, anyone not here? Any of your friends not here?
No.
Okay, let's start today's class. Please make sure you have
Tristan.
your... Oh, Tristan. Does anyone know where Tristan is?
I
No.
have no idea.
Okay, never mind.
He's
Let's-
gone.
It's okay. Let's just start. Make sure you have your exercise, your notebook with you to take down notes. And today we're looking
Shaina?
at... Yes.
Yeah, Tristan says coming in.
Thank you. So we're going to look at 3.4 on stars. It's on page 58 of your textbook. Okay, so yeah, let's look at stars and galaxies. Okay. Okay, so we're going to look at the sun. We're going to look at how the sun, what is it, what about the sun. We're going to look at a little bit about the sun, what a star is, how are they formed. We're going to look a little bit at constellations. And we're going to look at galaxy and a guy named Galileo Galilei. Okay, so this is what we're going to cover today. And we're also going to look at the life cycle of the star, which means of the star. So how they form and then how they die off. Okay, that's the last part. Okay, what is the sun? Anyone want to talk a bit about the sun?
It provides
Sun is
The star.
The sun
warmth.
is a star that's burning hot, and
Okay,
it was also formed by gas spinning around really fast.
okay. Anyone else besides that? A different answer? No? Okay. So, the sun is by far one of the biggest object within the solar system. Okay, so within our solar system. But is the sun the biggest star? No. There are other stars that are bigger. Okay, the surface of the sun is very hot, about 5,527 degrees. And all the 8 planets that we have in the Milky Way, they orbit around the sun. So the sun is at the center. Okay, so this is the sun. As you can see, the sun is at the center of all the other orbiting planets. Okay, so now I have a task for y'all. So I have the word sun, star, temperature, orbit, planet, biggest, and solar. So I want you to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So there are 7 keywords here. I want you to write down, up to you, either 7 sentences, each one containing each keyword, or a paragraph that contains all the 7 keywords. So I give you 10 minutes to do it. So quickly do it. Write it
Okay,
in your
John.
book.
Okay, John.
Again, I'm going to repeat myself. There are 7 keywords here. You either write 7 different sentences which has each keyword in it, or you write a paragraph which has all the 7 words in it.
So are we gonna read this out to you after we're done?
No, I'll tell you what to do about it in a while.
Okay, John.
Chair,
Yes,
but if we write the paragraph, how many words does it have to be?
as long as it contains those 7 words.
Okay.
Okay, John.
How many sentences?
If sentences means 7 sentences, like each for 1 keyword.
Miss Shreena,
Yes.
what is it again? Actually, must write.
Sorry.
What must we write again? I forgot.
So there are 7 keywords here. So you either write 7 sentences, which each one containing one keyword, or you write a paragraph that contains all these 7 keywords.
So I got a question.
Yes.
Can one sentence like have two wording?
If you manage to make your sentence that way, then okay.
Okay.
So we have to pick one word and then write a sentence with it.
No. All the 7 words, you must
Ah.
have 7. You must have either a paragraph that contains all these keywords. So you write out a paragraph that contains all these keywords, or you write sentences with each sentence containing one keyword.
That's
Okay, if you're done, just wait a while
So,
for everyone to finish.
if you're writing a paragraph, does it have to be in order?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, because I feel that planet needs to come before orbit.
No, it doesn't have to be in order.
so I did paragraph sir. But do I paragraph sir, can I can put full stop right sir? If
Yeah, you can. And all of y'all, please underline the keywords that you're using, whether it's sentence or paragraph.
yeah sure done. So do we have to produce a spider diagram?
Sorry?
Do we have to do the spider diagram too?
No. Those who are not done yet, still doing, please raise your hand so that I will know that I have to give you all time. Okay, thank you. Those still doing, please raise your hand.
So is it okay if I use the word twice? Yeah.
Can.
Okay, because I used starting twice.
Okay, can.
Sure, I'm done.
Okay. Okay, so while the rest are doing, let me just quickly say how you're going to submit it. So when I end the class, I am going to create an assignment on Edmodo that will say something like 7 sentences about the sun or star or something along those lines. So I want you to attach it to that assignment, and I will only give you all like maybe 15 minutes to attach it. Okay, so you must attach it like the moment this class ends. Understand? You can't attach it now because I haven't created the assignment tab like for you to submit. But the moment the class ends, please go and submit it.
So
Okay?
we must take photo.
Yes, you take photo and send.
Teacher,
Must
can I tell you something, teacher?
Yeah.
You know a thumbnail with the video thumbnail right there under the link for YouTube?
Yeah.
The thumbnail looks like I've seen those characters before. I think it was Storybots.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, I knew it! I knew it! I heard about that cartoon, but I never watched because I can't use Netflix. I mean,
This one's on
tried to use
YouTube.
I tried to use Netflix on my iPad, but it couldn't let me. I could only do it on my dad's phone.
Oh, okay. Yes, who's calling me? The rest of y'all, those who are not talking, please mute your mic, yeah? Because I can hear all your background sounds in your house. Yes.
So can I tell Akshara something?
Huh?
Can I tell Akshara something?
About what?
Raiden. Okay,
About
what is
her
it?
not to shout so loud because my ears nearly blow up.
What was that?
Don't shout too loud in the mic.
Am I too close to the computer? I
I
can
don't
go
know.
back. I can go back if you want me to.
No, it's okay. You very shouldn't go back, but just don't shout.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Your volume is very.
No, okay. Don't shout very loud like how you did just now, please.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go further. I'll decrease my microphone then.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Your
Okay,
problem, dude.
Jacob, are you done?
Leon.
Sure.
Yes.
You must do sentences.
Sorry?
You must do sentences.
It's either sentences or a paragraph.
I mean for the assignment.
For the assignment,
Yeah, that you're going to send.
no. Whatever you wrote now, that is what you need to submit.
Okay, I'm going to try and write them clearer for you because I had to cancel a few sentences that I didn't want.
Okay, that's fine. But the moment class ends, you can edit whatever you want to edit and then you upload it.
Okay, sir.
Jacob, are you done?
Done.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so what is a star and how are they formed? So the stars are very hot and it gives off their own light. That is why we can see stars. Why can we see stars? Because they give their own light out. So that's why at night we can see stars. We can see the stars. Okay. So how do stars form? They form when enough dust and gas clump together because of gravitational forces. And when they are clumping together, it's called fusion, nuclear fusion. And when they fuse together, it releases energy. And this energy is in the form of heat. That's why the sun gives out heat. Because the hydrogen gases are coming together, they're combining together. When they combine together, they will release energy in the form of heat. So that's why the sun is hot. Okay, can you all please take this down? Please copy this down.
Must I copy the question?
No, just the statements.
What was that? got disconnected from the meeting for a second.
Those still writing, please raise your hand. Okay, keep going.
Teacher, I'm done.
So
Okay,
done.
those who are done, please wait for a moment. I will just wait for those who are still copying.
Okay, so
Shrina, can I tell Cyrus something?
You all tell later in your own personal message, no need to talk over here. Then later when this video goes online and then all your conversations will be there. Okay, those still writing, raise your hand, please.
I'm done.
Okay, let's move on then to the next one. Okay, if you look at this, this is the life cycle of a star. Okay, so a star, it starts as a protostar, so just before it becomes a star, and then it becomes a star like the sun. So there are two ways as to which path it can go through. It can go through the left path, which is a red giant star, a white dwarf, and then a black dwarf, or it can become a red supergiant star, a supernova, and then a neutron star or a black hole. Okay, which we will look at later towards the end of the class. Okay, but this is just a preview of the life cycle. Okay, what is a constellation? Does anyone have any idea? Please raise your hand first if you want to speak. Okay, Akshara.
Constellations are like pictures made by stars.
Okay.
There's
Anyone
one that
else?
looks like a
Yeah.
pot.
Okay. Anyone else wants to try? Okay, so if you look in the sky, right, the stars are, it looks like it's scattered, but actually, right, sometimes these stars are in a specific arrangement. Okay, for example, like this. Okay, so what is a constellation? A constellation is a group of stars which form a noticeable pattern. So when the stars come together and they form like a pattern, which is noticeable, that is a constellation. And there are currently 88 constellations, maybe more. Okay, and they are all named after myths or creatures that they may look like. So the names that were given to these constellations are named after creatures, after myths that they may look like. Okay, the Big
there's no
Dipper and the Little Dipper are two of the most famous constellations. This is the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. Yes, Bryden?
what is the Big Dipper and Little Dipper? So what are they?
It's a
Are they
type
like,
of constellation.
yeah, also, but are they like a pen or something like that?
Okay, you can go and look it up later. You can go and Google about it later. Yes, Jada?
Another famous constellation is also the Archer, right? I heard
Yes,
about that.
yes. There are a lot of different types of patterns that they form, and they have been named after. Okay, quickly copy this down. For this one, please write the question. What is a constellation? Please write it down.
Do we have to write the word learning outcome 3?
No. Just write what is a constellation, and then write these sentences.
So, are there many of like the same constellation? Like if this one is the big difference, right? Can it be seen like in multiple places at the same time?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
So like say now this one is the big deeper thing. Can it be like seen in multiple places at the same time?
Yeah, can. But then everyone is looking at the everyone has day and night at different times, you see. So they will look at it at different times of the day lah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thanks.
Hmm. Those who are still copying, can you please raise your hand? Okay, please continue. Those still writing, can you please raise your hand? If not, I'll move on to the next slide. Okay. I'll give you all another 1 minute. Okay, Tristan, are you done?
So almost.
Okay.
Done.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so if you see here, it says task 3, read the passage about stars and answer following questions. So this is the second assignment I'm going to upload. So the first one is basically you've already done it. You just have to upload it on Edmodo, the 7 sentences or the 7 keywords. The second one is I'm going to upload a passage about stars, and there will be some questions that follow. So do those questions and then resubmit and then submit it to me. That I will post it on Edmodo after this lesson. Okay. So
the question be like a quiz, or do we have to write down the questions and
no, it's
photo
just I know it's a passage, and then there's questions on the passage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look a little bit at the North Star. Okay, there's a star called North Star. It's one of the brightest star in the sky. Forms part of the Little Dipper, which is also known as the Ursa Minor. Also known as Polaris, it is the most northern star, and therefore the entire northern sky moves around it. The Big Dipper, which is the Ursa Major. So Little Dipper is Ursa Minor, Big Dipper is Ursa Major. It circles around the North Star in 23 hours and 56 minutes. It's almost a day, making it nature's most heavenly clock. Okay, this is just something about the North Star. Okay, what is a galaxy? Anyone wants to answer? Please raise your hand. No? Okay, Nashley, what is a galaxy?
It's like made of stars and gas.
Okay, made of stars, gas, correct. There are also other things that also make a galaxy, which are the planets. And then in our case, our galaxy, it has the sun. Okay, thank you, Nashley. So a galaxy contains or can contain millions of stars. And then there are planets, you have the asteroids, the meteorites. There's so many things that you can find in a galaxy. Okay, so we call a galaxy an immense group of stars because there's just so many stars there. And these stars are held together in a galaxy by the force of gravity. Okay, in our case, okay, our galaxy, our Milky Way, we have the sun at the center, and all the planets are orbiting around it. How is it that these planets can orbit perfectly in its own orbit and it's all revolving around the sun? It's because the sun has gravity. that pulls these planets towards it, but it pulls these planets at different strengths, so to say. So they all the planets, they revolve in their own orbit because they are being pulled to the center of the sun in different strengths. Okay, so this is the galaxy, and this is the Milky Way. Milky Way is where the Earth is located at, and we live in the arm of the Milky Way. Okay.
Sure,
This is a rough picture.
has anyone explored any other galaxy aside from ours?
Yes, but I'm not sure at how thorough. Okay.
So you know that there's one thing I found on Google. The thing is called Neil Funds, where they show all of the things that is bigger than you. Like they show all of the galaxies and all of the planets, all of the moons, all of the stars. It's very cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Galileo Galilei. So he's the first astronomer to observe the Milky Way. He also made many different observations and discoveries, and one of it was the heliocentric theory, which we will look at. It's one of our subtopics in our book, but basically heliocentric theory says that the planets and moons revolve around the sun. So the sun is in the center and the planets and moons are around it. But at that time, when he came up with this theory, it was conflicting with the beliefs of the church. Okay, and because he was saying something that was against the belief of the church, he was put under house arrest. But basically, he was the one who came up with the theory of, one of the people that came up with the theory of the planets and moons revolving around the sun. If you want to read more about him, feel free to Google him later on. Okay, there's a lot of things that he came up with.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Okay, any questions so far?
No, sure.
No? Okay, we're going to go to the last part of today's lesson.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I don't know whether I'll be able to hand over to you the 7 sentences because my mother is sleeping right now.
Okay, you can do it once, or you take a picture and send it to me.
Okay.
On WhatsApp.
All right.
Okay.
Never mind. I'll just send it to you on Edmodo, and I'll just faster wake my mother up.
Okay. Okay, so let's look at the last part of today's lesson, which is the life cycle of a star. And everyone can see these slides, these new slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the life cycle of a star. So how do they form and how do they die off? Okay.
So I'm looking at the picture of Batman.
Yeah, just a moment.
I don't understand. Why is there a picture of Batman?
Because he doesn't smell.
Wake you all up a bit if you all are asleep. Okay, so life cycle of stars. Okay, sun being one of the biggest stars. Okay, so today we're going to look at the main stages of a star development. Then we want to describe each stage and explain the factors that influence the development of a star. So why do they develop that way? And explain how solar systems such as ours came into existence. Okay, but the main one is the life cycle of the stars. We might not cover solar systems, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it starts with the nebula. Nebula is basically clouds of gases and dust. Okay, this is how it's formed. So you have clouds of dust and gas present. That's the first one. Did someone raise their hand?
Nature.
Yes?
So is it in proper nebula is spelled with an E?
Singular and plural.
Oh, okay. And so one more question.
Yes.
Do we have to copy this down?
Yeah, I was just
is Is there like a diagram later where we can follow?
No, I will ask you all to copy this down now. Okay, so write number 1. So you write down, please write down the life cycle of stars. Okay. Life cycle of a star. Okay, write that down and write number 1, nebula dash clouds of dust and gas.
So on the next page for copying the notes, do we put life cycle of a star for the
Yes.
title?
Yes.
Sir.
Okay, those who are not done, please raise your hand. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. So it starts with the nebula, which is clouds of dust and gas. And then I have the protostar. Okay, protostar formation. This is the second one. So right, number 2, protostar formation. Protostar formation is just before the star is formed. So number 2, protostar formation. Okay, then we look at the next one. Okay, so this is just another picture of the protostar once it's formed. So what is protostar? Hot gas heated through pressure. So now these dust particles, they combine together and then you have hot gas heated with pressure. So that's a protostar. Okay, so please write that down.
Sure.
Yes?
Oh, just now you were breaking up. I couldn't hear.
Okay, now okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so please copy this one down. This is for number 2. Okay, then we go to the next one. Next part. Okay, this one lasts about 10 million years. Okay, then main sequence star. So this is the main star that is formed. Okay, in this case, it's the sun that we know. So hydrogen fusion begins. So fusion is basically, like I mentioned earlier, when the hydrogen gases, they combine. And when they keep combining, they release energy in the form of heat. So this is when the star is born. It actually becomes a star. And it usually lasts 5 billion years or so. And it's stable due to balanced forces of gravity and pressure from fusion reactions. So like I said just now, it has gravity. It pulls the planets to sit around its own orbit and orbit the orbit itself. So the sun has gravity, and there's also when the hydrogen gases are fusing together, there is a pressure involved there. So the forces of gravity and the pressure due to the fusion helps to keep the sun stable. Okay, please copy this down. This is number 3, main sequence star. So the first one is nebula, second is protostar, the third one is main sequence star. And then under main sequence star, you have these 3 points.
So can I go drink water?
Yes.
So
Yes.
okay, then. So hold on, Rasha, give me like 3 minutes more than 5 minutes. Okay, done, sir.
Those still copying, please raise your hand. Okay, let's go to the next part. So we have nebula, we have protostar, we have main sequence star. So next, what we have is the red giant. So after a star, so like we saw previously, about 5 billion years, right? So after that, what happens? What happens to the sun? What happens to the stars? Okay, when the hydrogen fuel runs out and the core contracts due to gravity and the outer layers are shed, the star grows and it cools into a red giant. So the sun, the stars suddenly become cold and they become a red giant. So this is number 4, red giant. When the hydrogen fuel runs out, because the hydrogen fuel, they are fusing together as we saw previously, and that gives up the heat. So when the hydrogen runs out, there's no more hydrogen to combine, the core contracts due to gravity and the outer layers are shed, the star grows and cools into a red giant. So this is the fourth stage. Please copy this down.
Answer.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is what's happening when it becomes a red giant. It grows really big. Okay. Okay, then what happens? And then when the
It
red
explodes.
giant has run out of all fuel and can fuse nothing anymore, it will lose its outer layers. These leaves just the core, which is still extremely hot. It is so hot it glows white hot, hence the name white dwarf. So this is the fifth one, number 5. Please copy this down. So after the red giant, it becomes a white dwarf. Once all the fuel has run out, nothing can be fused anymore. It will lose the outer layers and it will just leave the core, which is so hot that it glows, it appears to glow as white. Hence the name white dwarf.
So, sure, when our sun goes away, when our sun in a few billion years time, when it becomes a red giant, then when it becomes a white dwarf, what will happen after that?
Then there's one more.
It will
After
come-
white
no,
dwarf, sorry?
After white dwarf, I know after white dwarf there's one more, but then will there be like a new sun will come? Something? A new star will
That
come?
one we don't know lah.
Oh,
That one we will never know.
okay.
Okay.
Miss Shrina, after this, we need to post to you the 5 sentences we made using the keywords, right?
Yes.
All right, I'll be sure to wake my mother up.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. So after the white dwarf, okay, is just a picture. Then we have the black dwarf. So black dwarf is basically when the white dwarf starts eventually to cool. Because remember, the core is still really hot, right? So it glows white. So when that white dwarf cools down, it becomes black dwarf. Okay, so this is the last part. Please copy this down, yeah?
So,
Mm-hmm.
so after there's the black dwarf time, will the whole world be black and dark?
Will the whole world be black and dwarf?
No, dark.
Black, dark.
Yeah.
Well, that depends because there are other stars around that are giving light still.
Yeah, sure, but not
Unless
until,
all
like,
the
not
stars,
enough.
it depends. If all the stars, majority of all the stars, when I say the stars, if the sun, you have all these other stars. If let's say all the other stars are also dying off, then there will be absolutely no light at all. But if let's say the sun goes through this, then yes, the majority of the light that the earth receives will not be there anymore.
Yeah, sure.
But when all this is happening, the earth already cannot survive already. Because the moment the sun loses its heat and everything, the earth will already not be able to survive anymore.
Should we write stars or stars?
Sorry?
Because over here it says, the sentence says, white dwarf stars and eventually cool. So should we write that or stars?
Yeah, write this.
Stars or stars?
Just follow this one. White dwarf stars eventually cool down and become black dwarfs.
So does class finish in a while or something?
Sorry?
Doesn't class finish in a while?
Doesn't what?
Doesn't class finish in a while?
I cannot hear you. Can you type it out?
He said whether does class finish in a while?
Or does class finish in a while? Yeah, soon.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this is life cycle of a star in the form of a picture. So I have a nebula, and then I have the average star, the red giant, and then I have the white dwarf, and then black dwarf. But if let's say out of the nebula, a massive star is formed, then it will be a red supergiant. So instead of a red giant, it's the red supergiant. And then I have a supernova, and then it will either turn into a black hole or a neutron star. Okay.
Okay. Understand.
Yeah, sure.
Any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for today's class. So we looked at the sun, we looked at the galaxies, we looked at constellations, we looked at the life cycle of a star. We also looked at a little bit at Galileo. So this is pretty much it for today's class. Next class, we will look at the solar system a little bit, and hopefully we can also look at the moon. Okay, so again, to remind you all, I have after this upload the sentences or the paragraph that you made with the keywords, and then for homework, for another assignment, I will be giving you all an article together with some questions. So please answer those questions. Okay?
Will you be posting these on the Edmodo?
Yes.
For the articles, we have to copy down and paste.
No. Just read the article and answer. For what you write, what you submit to me is just the answers to the questions. So you write down the answers to the questions. You don't need to write the question down also. Just the answer to the questions. Actually, no. Write down the question. You know why? Because when you do revision, you will know what you're answering. So write down I think there's only 5 questions. Write down the questions and the answer to those questions, and then you take a picture of the answers and the questions and you submit it on the assignment tab. Okay?
When is the due date for all of these?
The due date will be tomorrow 5 p.m.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you, class.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.